We're going to be going over a arm drag into an Americana. We're going to talk about a couple different scenarios we can do it from. I like this arm drag a lot because it leads into a lot of other things. We can go into sweeps, we can go into a straight arm bar, we can take the back, and if the person postures up a ton, we can go over into our sit-up sweep too. So first we're going to talk about arm over. So with the hand that's on the same side as the body of what I'm going to grab, I'm just going to grab a 4-finger grip here. Then I'm going to take my opposite hand, I'm going to go behind my partner's tricep right above the elbow, and I'm going to grip. Now when I do this arm drag, I'm trying to pull him past me, but I'm moving myself also, right? I'm not just doing this, then I'm going to have to shrimp out anyway. So I straighten my legs, open my guard, come out, and I bite here on top of him. So now I'm holding Derek in this position. The original arm that was on his wrist is going to come to his lat just to keep him as tight as I can. You feel like you can go anywhere from here? He's pretty stuck here, right? So from this position, we are pretty defended. It's going to be really difficult for him to do much. We've now isolated an arm that is really stuck. He doesn't have the opportunity to straighten this arm right now or do anything else. We talked about this yesterday. I will grab my gi in this scenario if I have the gi on. If not, I'll just keep my hand flat or come to my shoulder here. So again, we're here, we're in the closed guard, 4 fingers, straighten my legs, I move to the side, climb the back, reclose the guard, grab the lat, and I'm holding Derek here. Do this, your partner moves around, he's pretty stuck. Again, like always, we're talking about a bunch of separate movements. When we actually do them, we're doing them together. So if I did it at speed, that's what it looks like, right? So I want to get this down before we go into the actual submission and make sure that you guys can properly hold your opponents down. Make sure you can get them there. Now let's talk about finishing the Americana here. So what we're essentially doing, not essentially, what we are doing is an Americana. We are taking the person's arm and bending the fist here past the shoulder and blowing up this shoulder capsule. That's the technical term. Grab the hands. So some of you guys were doing this. If I start doing this, it's going to give Derek the opportunity to enter into passes. Some of you guys were doing this and then doing this. There's no reason for that. It's one movement. I come here, now Derek's set, right? I'm going to close my legs if I can. Depending on the size of your legs and the size of your opponent's belly, you may not be able to. That's okay. Just squeeze the knees together if not. From here, I want to bring Derek's wrist as close to me as I can. I'm going to do that by just bringing my elbow into my body. Now, as I separate myself from Derek, you can see his elbow is tucked down in here in my hip. I'm also going to hip in. So just hipping in, I'm going to come here. You see how he's already wincing a little bit. It's already tight. From there, I'm going to start to also separate my body away from him. Right? Some of you guys that are more flexible, it's going to have to go further away. So with some people, I'll come to here on the head. But I like to keep a second grip on. There's nothing else I need to be doing with that hand. And I like to be closer so that Derek can't move away from me, straighten his arm, whatever. So we're here. Get the grip in tight. Hip in, and then start to separate. And we get that Americana motion. If I'm not there, basically what we're doing, this is being pressured, held in place. See how his whole body's moving, and then he ends up tapping. So his arm is just getting bent into an Americana. We're using our cross arm to hold it. So one time at speed here. It's that simple, right? Americana arm lock. We're going to go over in subsequent sessions what happens if he straightens his arm too quick, what happens if he grabs down on the leg, all that fun stuff. But for now, we're going to go over this finish. Then we're going to go over arm dragging from a different position. Same position, but a different arm positioning for the arm drag. Does anybody have any questions on this finish? All of you guys have varying flexibility, so move really slow with it. Some people are more flexible. It's It's going to be easier. On the second one, I'll go over an add-in we can do for some of the higher belts to add more pressure, but I don't want brand new people doing it. I can go over the top, or I can do like a traditional grip. So turn it like a 45 here. So we talked originally about coming here, opening our guard, coming here. Super valuable. I like to do it a lot. Different scenario, and usually I'm sitting up further. Maybe I'm going for a sit-up sweep, or maybe it's just what I decided to do, but I'll come here, right? Now, depending on what Derek does will depend on what I do to some extent, and also what the size is. I'm bigger than Derek, so I know that if I pull back, he's going to come with me. I'll grab the lat right away and come right to here. It's already tight, right? So from here, all I'm going to need to do is start to pull my elbow slowly back. It's really more my shoulder here on Derek because he's got pretty tight shoulders. Move your arm out of there. So if Derek's not there, I can pull myself up a little bit because my weight's a little bit on here, and just boom, pull that back, and it's going to go pretty fast. So we're here, boom. Same thing, we shrimp out. I'm going to be careful sitting up because I know Derek's got tight shoulders, but normally I just close my guard right there and sit up. Then from here, I'm going to bring this back, and my hip's going to go forward. Same thing. Boom. This one comes on a little bit faster. I showed a couple guys this last night. I only want upper belts doing this, blue belts and above, but this gets infinitely worse if you load your weight onto the shoulder. From where Derek is and with how tight his shoulders are, I'll be able to finish him just by putting weight down. If you do this and load weight and go, you're 100% going to blow someone's shoulder out. So do not do that. So just by holding it here and coming down, so some of the guys that are super flexible that this isn't working well on, if you're an upper belt, do that. But even the guys that are more flexible, the regular technique, this one's going to be more aggressive towards the shoulder. So come up, boom, sit up. I'm also pulling on this elbow a little bit, right? So depending on how we end up, pulling this out, coming back. Again, for upper belts, we can load this up and move forward. You could do both. Where's Waylon at? So Waylon's super flexible. So boom, sit up, come up. So if I'm just here on Waylon, I don't load him at all. You see how far his arm can go? If I come down here though, load weight on him, it's going to go a lot faster. The reason I don't want you guys at lower belts doing it is you just don't have the control yet. So stick to the regular one before you go loading weight on people. I don't want to see anybody get hurt. Again, go very slow with this. Wherever you were tapping someone with the first technique coming over here, this is 10 to 20 degrees earlier, you're probably going to get a tap. So be careful with it. You have a question? Anybody have a question? Everybody's good? All right, let's run it.